Hey, Uncivil Revolt. BMAC is back on Skype, and I got another European artist on the line with me. She used to be one of the lead guitarists for a group that I just interviewed a few weeks back, Burning Witches, and she's now getting ready to put out her new album with her new group, Crypta. Before that, with Burning Witches, it was all classic metal sounding, something like Iron Maiden and power metal. But with this one, you better look up. These women are out to tear the flesh off your ears and necks. And
Hell yeah.
let me tell you, this woman knows her guitar strings. So we're gonna talk about the group and her influences as a guitar player. So please help me welcome Crypta Mad Axe Woman Sonia. How you doing, Sonia?
Hey, thank you so much for the nice words. Really, that introduction was epic. I'm doing well, having a nice day. It's been super sunny outside. Been spending some time with the bass player of my other band. It's been fun.
That's cool. That's cool. And we'll talk about your other group. I think I know which one you're talking about, but we'll
Yeah,
get to that. But we'll get to that in a
sure.
little
Yeah,
bit.
let's go into it.
Oh, I guess the first and foremost is I got to ask you, Sonia, how you been doing with this whole pandemic situation? I mean, obviously the year it had on you, both as a musician and person. How'd you do? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Even if it's like without concerts for musicians, I'm spending my time wisely, doing a lot of music related stuff, such as guitar lessons, working on new music, writing a lot. It's yeah, so everything what I can do, at my own home, music wise, I'm doing it. And well, that's how it's going. With Crypta, of course, we're really working towards the release of the album. And yeah, there is a lot going on even in this difficult situation. But yeah, I'm just doing my thing with the music. I'm 100% musician, so I'm like 24/7 working on something guitar related. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And you mentioned that you've been giving out guitar lessons. How's that been going? Have you? Who would you say right now would be your? I don't want you to pitch you against people, but who would you say is one of your top students?
The top or
Yeah, one of your top students from this
my
past
top
year.
students. Yeah. So I have one very very good student. He comes from America, and he's like he learns very fast. Like he learns every single solo that I've written, and he directly after 1 week he can already play it. His name is John. I don't know if I can say his second name, so I'm gonna keep that anonymous. But if he hears that, he will know that I'm talking about him. But yeah, they're all very good students, though. They're all very committed. Um, it's yeah, it's very fun to actually give lessons to people from different levels because you can learn from every single of your students from what things have difficulty with, and yeah, it's a nice way to get to know guitar playing a lot better when you see people having struggle with something or people that want to learn a new technique that can be very insightful as a teacher.
That's very cool to hear. Have you ever given lessons before, or is this your first time like going into that? Like this pandemic kind of pushed you to do it?
Well, actually, I've started giving guitar lessons around over a year ago. Actually, pretty much when the corona just started. Before that, I used to be a web developer, so completely something different than music. Even though that
Hmm.
wasn't my main passion, honestly, music has always been like my biggest passion. And to really make it, to really fully commit, I had to make this decision to just choose for one, either web development or music, and definitely it's music right now. And that was a very good choice because I'm happier than ever right now. I have all the time to spend on my bands and on my own, solo activities. Yeah.
All right, well that's good to hear. So let's get into your new group that's going to be putting out their first album later this month, which is June. Crypta. Obviously, it has to do with a crypt. So where does the name Crypta come from?
All right. So that actually has a story. Before we came to that name, we had many, many different, names. We came up with some crazy mythology related names. we all love a lot like Egyptian mythology and everything that is a little bit mystical. We love that. Even though then Fernanda and Luana told me that they visited some crypts during one of their tours with their previous band, and they were very inspired by that. And we thought, okay, maybe it's cool to do something with crypt, you know. And it's very, close to death metal, death crypts. It's
Sure.
it's about the same subject. Let's say that. And okay, let's make it a little bit more ours. So we think Crypta would be a very right name. It's directly sounded right, and it's not too long. It's easy to say. So that's kind of how it went. And this was, I think, 2 years ago already, like very long time ago that we decided on the name. Back then we just were a three-piece, so we're just even getting started with making music. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, can you tell me what was the two craziest names you guys were coming up with at the time before Crypta?
Oh boy. I am not exactly sure, right? I don't really remember that very, very well, what kind of names we came up with, you know. I would have to think about that because we had a whole list of that, but I would need to check that. I would need to look in my old files.
Metal and the whole Egyptian mythology. Would you like to hear it?
Sorry?
I actually just came up with a name for you guys if you didn't go with
Oh,
Crypta, just off the
go
top of my
ahead.
head.
No, yeah.
And it kind of fits in with the death metal scene and with the Egyptian theme that you're going with. I figure you guys could call yourselves Hamunaptra, which is the city
Wow.
of the
I
dead.
love that. I really, really love that. That sounds so cool.
Okay,
Even
maybe
though
if you
maybe a side
guys
project.
go and if you guys go do a second album, maybe you call it that and give me some credit. I don't know.
There was actually this song in the album that we have right now. Um,
Hmm.
the song is named Dark Night of the Soul in the album, and the initial name that we had envisioned for this song, I don't, did you get to hear the album beforehand?
I got to hear a little bit of it, not too much right now.
All right, so that song has a lot of Egyptian, ancient, how do you say it, more Eastern sounding melodies in it, and
Uh-huh.
it was meant to have lyrics about Anubis, but they were actually changed, and we made it a different theme. But that's we had actually almost planned to give the name Anubis, but it didn't happen. But that's a weird fact.
No, that's a good fact too. And for those of you who've been living under a rock and don't study a lot, Anubis is the dark Egyptian god of the death, I believe, right?
Yeah, and the afterlife, and the whole mummification process. That's what he's there for. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a god you do not want to hang out with when you're dead, because I heard he's terrifying.
Yeah, and he weighs your heart with a feather, and he sees if you're worthy for the afterlife. So you better have had a good life, otherwise you're not having a good afterlife.
Well, yeah, that's very important. You want to live a good life that will transcribe into a good afterlife.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the new album that you guys are about to drop, which is entitled Echoes of the Soul. What was it like coming into this project with two former members of Nervosa, who's that's basically a big ass thrash metal group,
Hell yeah.
and you're coming in with your classic metal sound that you originally had with Burning Witches, and then Tonya from Hagbard, she comes in with her own thing, and you guys are meshing different worlds of metal together. How did you guys come to find the common ground to bring out the death metal in Crypta?
Well, actually, back when Luana and Fernanda had this idea to start this side project for death metal, I actually have a very like big background in death metal as a bass player, but for more local bands here in the Netherlands. I've been playing for many years death metal, so it's always was like a genre that I've really appreciated. Even though later on, since I got the chance to play in Burning Witches, it was like also natural for me since heavy metal is also a genre that I really like. So at that time, they had me invited because I also share this passion for the genre, and why not do it with other people that are like-minded. The same Taina has also a big passion for death metal. Somehow we are all like very open-minded when it comes to music, but death metal is something we all like. So we thought, okay, why not? Why let's not tackle this beautiful genre together? And we all have like a little bit. We really like a certain subgenre of the death metal, such as Fernanda is really, really into the brutal, for example, and Luana really likes the old school Swedish death metal. Myself, I'm all over the place. I really like the Florida, the old school death metal. I like the Polish blackened death metal. I can find in every single like subgenre or something that I really appreciate. And Taina really likes the melodic, so there's like a little bit of each. And with that, we wanted to create the sound of Crypta, which is a hybrid combination of these different subgenres of death metal. And in this way, we can write music very democratically, meaning that everyone can bring their own ideas that somehow can melt together and create the sound of Crypta.
Okay. And speaking of acting democratically in a group, I know you said people come in with their own ideas. Everybody came in with their own stuff that you guys worked on. But who would you say was the one who oversaw like the lyrics or the music? Was there someone in the group that you got basically entrusted into getting it off the ground?
Well, one thing for sure is when we were writing the album, only the three of us were in the band. A little bit later, Taina came in, and she got to collaborate in certain sections of the songs, but the songs were pretty much finished, and she wrote the bonus track of the album, actually.
Okay.
But the rest of the album is composed mainly by myself, Fernanda, and Luana. And the lyrics are done by Fernanda. So for lyrics questions, I'll have a little bit of a hard time answering, but composition-wise, I can say everything about it. Yeah,
So,
and a lot of my ideas were like with the guitar, obviously. So everything that I brought in was guitar riffs, and I actually all the demos are recorded right here. Yeah.
Okay, so you said Luana mainly oversaw the lyrics, correct?
Oh, Fernanda.
Oh, for now, I thought you said the one. My bad.
Fernanda, our vocalist, bass player. Fernanda does all the lyrics. Yeah.
I'm a bass player too. I love bass players.
Oh yeah, she's brutal.
Oh yeah,
I have so much respect for bass players that can do vocals at the same time, because it's so hard to do the rhythm and the singing. It's very hard. So.
Well, it's not hard if you're Tom Araya from Slayer.
Wow, yeah, I have respect.
Oh, you got to have respect for that. So Fernanda writes the lyrics.
Right.
Where did she come up with the ideas for those songs like Starvation, Possessed, Under the Black Wings, Dark Night of the Soul? Was she into like the Egyptian culture, and she just wanted to?
I mean, this is just for one song. I think that we implemented but it changed. It changed a little bit the themes. There is nothing about ancient Egyptian mythology, if I'm right, in the album. Right now, it's more about different subjects of death. That was the initial idea of one of the songs, and it ended up being different. But the overall thematology of the album, it's different subjects related to death. Such as there's one song. Let me see if I can put the songs in front of me, then I can tell a little bit about them. Just a moment. So we have.
Well, I got the songs right in front of me too.
Yeah. So if we have like Under the Black Wings, this song is actually about one of Luana's dreams. She usually has a very like brutal, evil dreams, and it's about like some kind of hell that she was going through with some demons and very low trumpets. That's why it was a very like trumpet intro in that song, and that was actually the theme of this song. Or for example, or in From the Ashes, the main theme is rebirth. Literally it's a tale about the phoenix that burns itself and then gets new again. and it's like a metaphor from real life. You know, you go through changes and you start in a new beginning, and that's what From the Ashes is actually about. And yeah, that's every song has something very special that is related to something that dies and starts, or something very brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, like the seventh track here, Kali. That is the
Kali,
Hindu god,
the
the
Hindu
Hindu
god of
goddess
life.
of
Right
the
on.
Hindu
Yeah,
goddess of the afterlife and death.
exactly. So there is like somehow um, some songs related more to death, and yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I hear the word Kali, I just go to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Look at that. Cool.
Yeah. So you got this album ready. You're doing it with Napalm Records. Did they like sign you right away after hearing you, or did you send them like a demo with a couple of songs and they just wanted to have you come on board?
Well, we already had contact with Napalm Records since of Fernanda. Since her previous band Nervosa was already like signed with Napalm Records, so the contact with them was already there, and there
Hmm.
was a friendship. You know, they have a long time trust with this label, so it felt very natural to honestly start working again with the same label, as the experience was nothing but good. So we got the chance to, you know, send our music and let them hear what we're working on. We sent very very raw demos, but they trusted on our work, and we got signed right away, of course, without having any music released before.
Okay, that's awesome.
So yeah,
Have you got?
it's awesome indeed, because it's very rare to get like a completely new band and get signed straight away. And for me, it was a huge surprise that it could happen, you know, so fast.
And it's nice to have that kind of connection with the label that you've worked with before. And in terms of Fernanda, she was able to carry that friendship over and bring Napalm to you guys. And they said, yeah, we
Exactly.
want you guys.
Yeah,
I
that's
like that.
awesome. Yeah.
That's the way to have a relationship with a metal label. And that's why I appreciate metal labels today, especially Napalm Records.
Yeah, definitely, because you know there are labels that want to try to use the artist and give contracts that are not right, but we are very happy with the contract that we have with Napalm Records. It's very like you know, nice for the artist too. So
Yes.
aside of that, they really help with the promotion. Our sales with the album are going so well. The views on our music videos are going like crazy. You know, we just released two first songs of the band, and they're going so well. um, that's just amazing, you know, to have such a kickstart for the band, and we couldn't have done that without the label.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. So you got this album coming out later this month in June. So have you guys booked any gigs in Europe? Have you guys started to plan
Oh yeah, we
for a
have some
tour?
very cool stuff booked actually. We're gonna share it very soon, this month already. We have some very cool news about shoes shows getting booked for the next year. Yeah, this year is a little bit tricky. We're trying, and there might come some stuff, but it's quite hard with the coronavirus. But there will be, I'm sure there will be. But we're definitely booking some stuff already.
Yeah, I'm already getting emails from different PR people informing me about tours starting to happen later this year. So I would imagine you guys are gonna get on that bill pretty soon.
Hell yeah. We're gonna definitely try to get as much as we can.
Yeah, you got to come to the States
We
too.
Yeah, we're dying to tour, and it's one of my dreams to tour in the United States. You know, I've visited the country, but I've never really toured there as a, you know, as a musician in my own band. And it would be really a dream come true if I can do this with Crypta, or any of my other bands.
Eh, it's all right here. It's okay.
I would love it. I would love it. It's
I'm just playing. So you got another group called Cobra Spell. I'm not too familiar with it, so tell us a little bit about that group and what do you got in the pipeline for that group right now? I know you guys just put out an EP
Yeah,
recently.
so Cobra Spell is, in contrary from Crypta, more of a heavy rock band in the style of the 80s. So it's, you know, a band that looks up to those 80 rock gods. arena rock oriented bands, and those very cool LA scene bands that were back then. And yeah, this was founded by myself and Sebastian Silva, who is the guitarist in Unto Others, a band from Oregon and Portland. And yeah, we wanted to bring back those nostalgia feelings of these bands that are not existing much anymore. Well, most of them, they're like old dudes, which is fine, but they're getting old. And we want to bring back this awesome music, and yeah, bring back that feeling of nostalgia. And that's what we're doing with Cobra Spell. We released our first EP back in September past year, and right now we're working on a new album, which is going to release maybe this year or the next one. We can't. We're working on it at the moment.
Okay. Are you guys signed with a label, or are you gonna self-release?
The EP was a self-release. We're currently looking for a label. We might get one. We don't know yet. It's depending on the deal, always. Yeah.
Of course, I get it. So I wanted to ask you really quick about your old group, Burning Witches. Now, I've been promoting them for the past couple weeks. I mean, I just did an interview a few weeks ago with Laura, and of course, they just put out their new album this past Friday, The Witch of the North, and Larissa Ernest from, I'm trying to read this name correctly, Gonaris, it's kind of hard to pronounce. She has actually taken your place in the group. Have you had a chance to listen to this album?
Honestly, I haven't checked the album out. I don't really have interest to check it out, even though I've seen one of the singles. To me, it doesn't really speak to me, so I'm like, I wish them the best. I wish them the best with their new album, and that's it.
Hey, respect. I don't mean to put you in that spot. I was just curious.
I'm very happy for Laura that she can do her thing. She's so talented, and she really lives for music, and she's doing a great job. Sorry, there's like an insect flying around here.
Yeah, she actually does a good job on the album. She does good with the singing.
She's awesome. Yeah.
Well, thank you for answering that question. I know that was kind of awkward. I was just wanted to dig it out of you,
Yeah, I mean, it's I wanted to just move on and start my own things, and with creativity of freedom of creativity, something that wasn't in Burning Witches. I didn't get to write music, something that with Crypta and Cobra Spell is finally the case, where I can actually bring on my ideas and be part of the concept of the band, be part of it from the beginning, be part of writing lyrics in Cobra Spell. Actually, I write a lot of lyrics there. Having actually influence in where the band is going. And this is something I really appreciate about the bands that I'm in right now. Burning Witches was something about a one-person idea, and everyone has to do what this person, wants. And that's something that to me doesn't really work out. I'm more of a person that likes to work together or have something to say. And, and aside of that, I consider communication very, very, very important. This is something that was lacking a lot in Burning Witches. And still, I wish them the best. But it was just not for me. And right now I'm a lot happier doing my own thing. I feel much more in place in Crypta and Cobra Spell, and that's all. I mean, I'm happy that they found someone that fits them well, and I hope that they can release many albums together.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you found found projects that are more to your liking, and it allows you to express yourself more freely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so we got time for a couple more questions, and these are fun questions. So, Sonia, say you're stranded on a desert island, and you got an infinite supply of water, fresh water.
Ooh.
But to keep yourself from going insane, what would be the 3 albums that you would bring with you?
Whoa, that's a great question, actually. I think I would go for. Ooh, that's such a good question. Kiss, the first album of Kiss. The first. the
Oh yeah,
self-titled his album.
yeah, yeah,
That's for
with
sure.
Stutter. You gotta love that one.
And then I think Dokken Under Lock and Key. I really like that album. Um, and aside of that, Trilogy from Yngwie Malmsteen, maybe. Yngwie Malmsteen is a very, very good guitarist. So those are three, but honestly, I would want to take a lot more. You know, there is a lot of. Actually, I would like to really, really put Rust in Peace by Megadeth in there too. I would like to add a lot more in it, but I can't. I just have these three, so that's
I,
it.
I know. Hey, the list will constantly change. Like
It
my
constantly changes. Right now, I just say it like whatever comes in my mind first, but the list would be a lot longer, let me tell you that.
yeah. Well, mine would be Pearl Jam's 10,
Mhm.
um, Van Halen 2.
Hell yeah, that one rocks.
Yeah, may Eddie rest in peace.
Yeah,
I
it
cried when
sucks,
he.
man. It's been a rough year with all this, so many legends dying.
Yeah, especially the ultimate guitar legend right there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And my final album, and this always changes, but off the top of my head at the moment, I would probably have to go with Megadeth's Rust in Peace.
Yeah, I mean, good choice. I mean,
Yeah.
the first song, the song that really got me into metal was Hangar 18. The huge amount of guitar solos in that song is just mesmerizing. The talent of these musicians is off the roof, amazing.
Yes,
It's
there.
I can't get tired of listening to that album. It's probably one of the first albums that I got into, and still the ones that I can't get tired of. If you don't get tired of it after years, it means that it's real quality.
Yeah. And I'm seeing them in September. So I'm excited.
Cool. It's very saddening what happened with the bass player, though. I don't really
Yeah,
know what exactly
Elson.
is happening, but I hope they can find a good replacement.
I'm sure Mustaine's on the hunt for one right now. They already debunked the rumor that Jason Newsted from Metallica was joining the group.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but
Yeah, as soon as somebody spread that rumor, everybody he went on there, his wife on there they were like, no,
it's
not in
not
this.
gonna happen.
So I'm glad that rumor got shut down. So I got one more question for you, Sonia, and this is a big one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Who did you prefer listening to growing up? The Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
The Rolling Stones, I think, more rocking.
My girl, I love that. But you gotta love what the Beatles did too.
I like the Beatles. They gave me a very youthful sentiments. And my father would always put them when I was small and we were on vacation. He would put "Here Comes the Sun," you know. But the Rolling Stones are legendary when it comes to rock and roll, and you can't
Yeah,
have to
my
make it.
mom. Yeah, my mom, I think, was partially the reason why I got into the Beatles. But she liked more of the early stuff, and I liked more of the later stuff. So anytime if I play Yellow Submarine, I just sometimes do it around her just to drive her crazy.
Oh, this is exactly the same. My mom is more of the Rolling Stones type, and my father is like totally the Beatles, which is exactly like the situation. Yeah, if I would play the Beatles around my mom, it would be like totally not the right
The
occasion if I
Stones
put
too.
Rolling Stones. Well, my father can maybe go along with it, but it's kind of the same.
Yeah, yeah. You got to cut out there. So I may have talked over you. I do apologize for that.
No worry.
So what I was saying was I would go with the Stones too because I loved how they were able to combine different elements with their blues rock. And my grandfather, who's a pastor, he actually got to open up for the Stones back in the '60s.
Wow.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah,
Man,
I know.
that's such an honor. Well, I mean, honor. I mean, it's a cool achievement, something to remember.
Yeah, and my dad actually got to be a bouncer at one of their concerts. He actually was like 15 feet away from Mick Jagger.
Wow, that's insane. If I
Yeah,
hear
my
these kind of things, it really feels like, is that real? Like, how is that possible? Because it seems like these artists are so, so far away, so, unreachable.
yeah. Well, I will tell you the story when you come to the States. I will tell you the story of my grandfather and his encounter with the Stones. And let me tell you, this is a story I love telling any people because it's a good one.
Yeah, let me tell me.
Oh, you wanted to? Okay, I will tell you really quick. It was during it was during the '60s, and you know how they used to do like 3 shows a day at like fairs and carnivals and county fairs
Uh-huh.
back in the States. Well, my grandfather was on one of those, and so was the Stones. It was in Pennsylvania. It was a very hot summer day, and my grandfather always would dress in different suits because he was kind of a Christian singer-songwriter. Kind of think of Frank Sinatra with a guitar and a burning love for Christ.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, and he would open up for the Stones along with other artists, and the Stones would constantly go out there and do their thing, but they would always wear the same outfits the whole day. So they're sweating like crazy because it's a hot day and they're just playing their balls out. So the last show of the night, my grandfather tells me he's wearing a brand new suit. He gets up there and does his thing. He gets off stage. He walks past the Stones backstage. They say hi to each other, and he notices that they're starting to stink because of all the sweat from the clothes. So their
Oh, yeah.
manager, yes, so he tells me their manager goes to them and says, "Hey, listen, guys, we've been hearing complaints about you guys kind of stinking up the place with your clothes. Before you go out there for your last show, can you just change outfits before you go out there?" And they're like, "Oh, sure, no, yeah, no problem." And of course, you got to imagine they're probably high at this point.
Yeah.
So when they go out there, my grandfather sees this, and so does the audience, and he will tell you that it's true. They just switched with each other's outfits.
Seriously?
Seriously, that's what he's telling me.
Damn. And they're wearing what were your grandfather's band wearing then?
Well, I don't know if he had a band himself or if it was just him with his guitar, but he would wear like a proper attire, and the Stones. They always dressed like the bad boys.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
So,
wow. I would have liked to seen pictures of that.
oh, believe me, I wish he would have taken pictures, but remember, it was the '60s, and you couldn't exactly do speed photography at those things.
Selfie, no.
You,
No, of
you can't
course
even
not.
you could even do a selfie. It's like, okay, got a selfie. Ah, light.
Yeah.
Imagine that kind of selfie. You'd be like, like this. That
Yeah,
would ruin the shots.
that wouldn't work.
No, it wouldn't. Well, hey, Sonia, thank you so much for speaking with Uncivil Revolt. It was a great game to know you.
Thank you so much for having me. Really enjoyed this interview.
Oh, me too. And I enjoy anybody who wears an old school Vinnie Vincent T-shirt. I'm not necessarily a big fan of his, but I do respect what he did with Kiss, and he's actually a pretty damn good guitar player.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Kiss. So for me, every single member is very special. From Kiss, certainly Vinnie Vincent, he had a very, very unique style. And I'm very happy that he had like his own solo project, solo band, and the songs of that is super catchy. I love it. But Kiss for
Yeah,
me is like above everything, above the Rolling Stones, above the Beatles. Kiss is all the way up there for me.
I've seen him twice.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
I love Kiss so much. I see them twice too, actually. And I actually bought tickets to see them on their end of the road tour next year. So I'm really looking forward to see them for the last, hopefully not the last time, but I guess it might be the last time.
it probably will be. I don't know. But I got to see them for the last time in my hometown when they were doing this tour, so I was very happy that night.
Awesome. They
Gene
get
Simmons was
amazing.
Gene Simmons during Rock and Roll All Night. Gene Simmons is on his platform. He hovers right over my head.
Oh, epic.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was. They didn't do Strutter. I wish they did, because that's like my
Oh,
favorite song from them.
yeah, a real Paul Stanley like hit. I love it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at least they did Deuce. I'll give them that. They gave me Deuce.
Oh, I love Kiss.
And
Awesome.
before I go, here's the weird thing about that show. They did an encore, which included Rock and Roll Night, but they also did a second song, and I could not believe this. It was Eric Singer singing Beth.
Yeah, that's also special. I mean, it was something from Peter Chris, but the fact that Eric Singer can do it too, I think, it's cool.
Yeah, he rises up from the stage, and I think he was like singing at the piano. I think he's playing it, and he's
Yeah.
singing Beth, and I'm like, this. I'm surprised they actually did this.
Yeah, I mean they do it well, I mean not exactly as they did in the old days, but they bring back the things they used to do, to live on the legacy. And of course, it's not gonna be the same as with the original members. Myself, I'm a very like big fan of the original lineup. I think that's the best Kiss era ever existed. But the fact that they keep on doing it with their new members, I have respect for that, and it's nice that they try to, make different generations experience Kiss in some kind of way, and that I really like that.
Yeah, and a few months later, I actually got to see Ace Frehley do his solo show in LA.
Ooh, I would love to see that too. I've never seen Ace Frehley live, unfortunately.
He's he's good. He's still good. He's still got
Hell
it.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, well, so again, Sonia, thank you very much. I'm glad we got to reminisce about Kiss really quick.
Yeah. Thank you.
This was Sonia, and be sure to pick up her band's new album, Crypta's debut new album, Echoes of the Soul from Napalm
Yeah.
Records. And be sure to be on the lookout for Cobra Spell's upcoming album, which hopefully will be out later this year or early next year. They're still working on it, but I would recommend you go check that group out as well. And be sure to follow Sonia on all social media accounts so that she can keep you up to date of what's going on with her projects. So, Sonia, I'm counting on you to let us know when Cobra Spell's new album comes out and when Crypta will be touring the States.
Yeah, exactly. We will keep everything updated on our social channels. You can stream our music on all, major music streaming platforms, and we are on YouTube too. So the music is listenable everywhere.
All right. Well, you stay safe, Sonia, and I will look forward to the day when you come down to the States with Crypta. Rock on, sister.
Yeah. Rock on. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.